Welcome to Wholesale 101. I'm Mike the Wholesaler. I am the wholesaling supergroup leader of the REI USA. I don't have slides. My computer is fried. So I'm just jumping here on my phone. I've got my iPad here, and I'm going to be using it to look stuff up. But what we're going to do is, since it's just us and I don't have anything access to my slides and stuff, we're going to do a one-on-one session. So let me go to the chat or the Q&A. I'll get chat on here. Chat. Okay. All right. So, hey. Let me get it to go to everybody. Everyone. All right. Oh, yeah, you're nervous. You're probably going to be the only one to see it anyway. All right. So, have you wholesaled your first deal yet? Because if you have, or if you've got stuff you're already doing, then I'll know where we can go from there. All right. Okay, so no luck yet. All right, all right. Do you have a CRM, and are you doing any sort of like marketing, yellow letters? Do you have any lists? And then, yeah, any of that information. So I want to see what you are looking at and where you're getting that list from. Yes, you do all of that. Okay. So what CRM do you use? And you know what? Maybe I can, if you don't mind, I will allow you to talk. I will allow to talk.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
It's okay. I'm in here in California, the Bay Area. I'm sure you remember me. You were trying to help me a little bit ago with a property that was in Tracy, California.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I haven't been having much success. I'm not sure if it's because there's limited amount of time to put into it, as well as getting all the leads. And I do prop stream, and I do I send out I've sent out like multiple letters through prop stream. I haven't gotten any return calls on any of the properties. I know it's you should do follow-up, but I haven't done a follow-up. I think we space it out like couple of weeks at a time or so to send more follow-ups on that. And I also have a young lady that she and I are like pretty new at wholesaling, so we've been tagging along together, and we both do cold calling, but we haven't had any success. We were on to something at first, but the lady doesn't want to come down on the house. She wants $1 million for the house, and she's just like set in stone on it. And we had a contractor go to her, and he didn't have any luck as well. He's trying to tell her that the foundation is really like horrible. So she still was unwilling to come down. So we kind of just left that alone. And we're just moving on to other prospects. Hopefully we'll get some return calls soon.
Yeah. Okay.
It's tough though. It's really tough here in the Bay Area.
Yeah. So I had a student that was in California. He ended up virtual wholesaling in another area just because of how it was. Um,
I'm
let me,
unfamiliar with virtual. I mean, I know all about it, but it's
yeah.
like if you need boots on the ground, it's like I don't really know a lot of people throughout the states. So it's like, who would I rely on? I mean, I know getting my feet wet and trying to you know, go through REI where you can post, say, hey, is anybody in Connecticut or wherever? I need boots on the ground or something like that. I'm not that acquainted just yet, but I'm making my way. I'm so old school, old fashioned, so to speak. I haven't gotten my feet wet as yet to chime in with others on REI, in the group chats or things of that sort. So I'm still trying to work my way through there.
Okay, it's not wanting to log me into batch driven. Let me see if I can. Uh, so I'll try again.
How are you feeling? Are you feeling better these days?
Well, I have this almost constant cough now, and I
Okay.
feel like I just got COVID, but they just didn't tell me.
Yeah,
And
I don't
this
think
is
so.
just what
I
it's
think
like.
you would have known. I think you yourself would have known if you'd had that.
Man, it's not wanting to take my thumbprint. Yeah, of course it would do something like this. All right. So what you want to find out is you want to make sure that there's a lot of buyers. So
Mhm.
look up if you can with PropStream
Okay.
a large amount of buyers. I think we might have did that. I think it was you that I did that with. Where
Can you hear me?
yeah. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Whatever you were saying, I missed all of it because it went mute for some reason.
Yeah, my I connected my phone to my car now, and I just remembered that my wife was taking the car, and so
Oh,
she
okay.
probably turned it on, and it started coming out her speakers. So there
Okay.
was a peninsula, I think that we did. I looked up a couple episodes ago in California, where I looked up buyers, and I want to say we found a lot on this peninsula, and that was the area to go target. I don't know if that was you.
Yes, I was there.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Um, so you've already got that done. Um, so targeting that space. Um, Here, what I've done is I've looked at like all of my best deals, and all of my best deals that I have, like ones that I wanted to keep, they were so good. They had one person that was like on the title. They had one person that was like living there, and their income was just not at the point of, I mean, they could pay it every month, but they were sort of, about to get behind.
Okay.
And then two of them, the person was elderly, and all the other people had passed away, and so they were just living in this house by themselves, so they wanted to downsize. um One was the wife. The husband had passed away. Another one was just the lady had a boyfriend, and she owned the house, but she was getting sort of starting to get behind. And then the other one was a lady. Husband had passed away a while ago, and just didn't want to pay to maintain the yard and all that. So the house was just huge to her. She just needed one bedroom.
Right.
So I was like, well, hey, can we get it to one person if they're old or not, doesn't matter, but it's just one person in a house. And I think it had right around 26% equity. So I was like, well, hey, why don't we do maybe 20 to 30% equity, like right in that range for some reason.
Mhm.
And then we could not, well, ListSource does the income of the people that live in the property, but we weren't using ListSource. So we couldn't add that on there as well, but I would have if I could.
How good is
we
list
pulled,
source for you?
so ListSource is really good, but you
Okay.
have to make sure that you get all the stuff in the list right, because you could mess up and not get vacant properties. You could not get any of that stuff that you need. So
Okay.
when you're using ListSource, you got to make sure you're doing it right, and everything you do in ListSource is going to narrow it down.
Okay.
There are some that don't narrow it down. They
Like
add
PropStream?
those in there.
I have
So
trouble with PropStream too, because it's like when I'm trying to look for these owners, it's like they don't exist in PropStream at times, and I'm like, what do I do next? You know? So it's I don't know, mortifying sometimes.
yeah, you got to make sure that when you are, because it's called leads or list stacking. And what you're doing is you're taking, like, normally what you think is like with ListSource, you take the county of properties, you add in vacant. So now they're all vacant. And then you add in
Okay.
tax delinquent. And so now it's vacant and tax delinquent. So every property has both of those things on it. But
Right.
there are some sites where they don't do that, where if you put tax delinquent, it will pull all the tax delinquent properties, and then it will pull all of the vacant ones, and it will just lump them together. So there will be some that have one, and then some that have the other, and then some that have both.
Okay.
So you got to be
What have
careful
you
of that.
been
You want to
mostly
narrow it down.
successful with for
What'd you
your
say?
business? What are you mostly successful with from your, when you first started? What were you most successful with doing?
I was most successful with vacant properties where
Okay.
they lived somewhere else, and it was a house that they didn't necessarily need, and then it needed a lot of repairs. And they had stuff wrong with them. They had a mortgage on it. So stuff like that. But now
Okay.
the problem is that everybody and their brother is calling and texting, and everybody you talk to is like, man, you're like the 8th person that's called me today. I mean, I get 9 or 10 of them every day. So it's cutting through all of those people today and getting to those people before they wind up on a normal list.
Right.
So, I mean, the other strategy is that you could just target everybody in a zip code
Okay.
or in an area and just hit everybody up. And, the people that are super motivated are going to be on there, but you're
Right.
also going to have to sift through all those people that are like, no, don't bother me. I'm going to sue you, all of that stuff. Which is why, starting off, I suggest, you shorten your list and you target it.
Okay.
But you do get a discount mailing wise, where you can have a big postcard and they just hand it out to every address.
Okay.
So if you're gonna call everybody, mass text everybody, mass mail everybody, then yeah, go for it. But if you don't have the money that it takes for that, you're gonna want to target people, and you're gonna want to target them in a way that you've got to get to them before other people do. And then also what we do now is we do the consultant method. Instead of the We Buy Houses, we come in as consultant. So that adds that extra layer of separating us from everybody else. So,
Okay.
we come in and, how can we help you with your house? So that kind of thing.
Okay.
So we talked about narrowing the list, getting the list down. If you've gone through a list already and you're calling it again, I would go the route of having somebody else, or calling it back and sort of coming in as a survey.
Okay.
There's a company called onbrand24.com. I believe it's .com, but it's onbrand24, ON brand
The number
24.
24. Okay.
Yeah. And they have a win back program that they can do where you give them these cold leads and they essentially call them back and they say, well, who did you speak to? How's the service? Would you recommend it again? Did you end up like choosing us or choosing this company for the service? If you didn't, who did you end up going with? What do you think we could have done better next time? And you might win back some of those people just through that. Well, I don't feel that I got that good of an offer, or I'm getting all these other offers from other people, or I don't know that they can close. And so you'll see why people are not choosing you, basically.
Okay.
And then you also have the added benefit of winning some of those people back.
Right.
Now, I think that if you've already got a list and it's already targeted with buyers in that area, what I would say is I would call them. I would mail them if you can afford it,
Okay.
but I would call them most definitely, and I would call them with Mojo Dialer. It's $97 a month. You can pay 10 extra to record the calls so that you can go back over them. If you can't do that, I mean, any way you call them is good. So if you're typing them in on your phone and calling them, I mean, that's fine as long as you're just calling them.
Right.
And I would just get to them and say, hey, I see this property here. I just wanted to see if I could help you with this property. We do funding. We can get it caught up if there's a mortgage. We can do repairs. We can help you sell it. We can help you find tenants. We can help you find contractors, and go through that whole thing of how we can help you.
Okay.
And then of course they'll ask, well, how much is that going to cost me? And you can say, well, the third party pays us to connect with you. And you've got to get that extra stuff in there, like how you can help them.
It's like winning them over, right? By the things that you say to them, right?
Because a lot of these people are getting calls that are like, hey, is Mr. Williams there? And then you say, yes, this is Mr. Williams. And then they say, well, I would like to buy your house at 123 Main Street. And so it sort of sets the wrong tone, because you're like, why are you asking who I am? How did you get this number?
Right.
You want to set the tone as like, hey, I'm here to help you with the house. We can find tenants. We can find contractors, whatever you need, get you funding. And this other person will pay us. It's all free. I would go that route. And then the same for postcards. If you're doing postcards, just write on there like, we help people with their houses. Here are the many ways that we can help them. All of these are free. And phone number, no website, no nothing else.
Okay. So it's just being sincere at how I can help them.
Yeah. And that includes like advice. We get people that are like, hey, they'll be joking, like, seeing if we're really, and they're like, hey, well, I'm thinking about adding a back deck. And I'm like, all right, well, how much room do you have in the backyard? And I'll go off for like 30 minutes. Like, okay, so you got enough room in the backyard. I would definitely add a deck, but I would make sure that it's got stairs going down into the backyard. And, oh, it's, it's on the second story, the deck is. So I was like, oh yeah, definitely put stairs, but make sure you get a really good contractor to put them in. And then I'll connect them with a contractor. And then there, what it is you are having a awesome experience with somebody, just helping them. So when they go and, hey, if you see anybody that needs help with their house, let us know, give them, my number, or give me their number, however, and we'll reach out and we'll help them. And so then you'll get those referrals coming in. I mean, it doesn't take much to help people, should you put
That's
a back
true.
deck or not.
Right. And I'm a natural. I love talking to people, So the young lady that I'm working with, she is also a real estate agent, and she's just learning wholesaling. So we kind of tagged in together to do these things. She'll take half the list and I'll take half the list, and we'll do, make the calls or whatever. But like I
Yeah, so
said,
you
we
do
haven't been
got
doing that.
you got boots on the ground.
Yeah, she's in San Francisco and I'm in Alameda. So I'm in between both cities. It's San Francisco, Alameda, and then Oakland, California.
Yeah. I remember looking at that map. It was pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah, through Berkeley and all this stuff. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of space to cover, It's just
Mhm.
getting, I've been driving for dollars on PropStream, doing it actually on PropStream now that they have that set up. So that
Oh,
works
wow.
pretty well too. Yeah, it's really cool to drive for dollars right in PropStream. It's really cool. That's
Man,
one plus
everybody's
that's
doing
sold me.
that now.
Yes, I thought I was a one-hit wonder, but look, I'm like, oh shoot, everyone's doing it. My husband was like, you're not the only one. I'm like, oh, I was excited at first.
Yeah. Man. And then Deal Machine got messages, which seems pretty cool.
Deal Machine.
So they may be getting that. I mean, eventually it's going to be a CRM. Like PropStream is so good. I wish it would be a CRM. But man, yeah. So I'm having to reconfigure all of that because Batch Driven got rid of their texting and calling.
Oh wow, okay.
So
you're not with PropStream then, right?
no, I had PropStream and I had Deal Machine, and I think I had Freedom Soft.
Okay.
I was using all three of those.
Oh,
And then I got
wow.
rid of them for Batch Driven because it did all of that stuff. And then I guess they looked at what it would take to do calling and decided to outsource it to Twilio. So now you have to link up a Twilio account.
Okay. I never heard of Twilio before.
Yeah, it's good, but you got to build it. I mean, you could have people call in and hit a number, and if you want to talk to somebody that speaks Spanish, press 2.
I get it.
But you don't need all that stuff if you're calling out to people.
Yeah.
If you're just calling sellers, you don't need all that fancy stuff.
Okay.
And then like sending documents, I realized how bad that was. I had a guy, so I was going to cancel it. I was like, I'm not using it. So I went into the document. This one guy's got 3 properties, and so I had to make each document myself and send it out. And so I'm thinking I might go back with Freedom Soft, just because they have that one button template.
I've never heard of them either.
Can you hear me?
Barely.
I think I may have been muted again. It says I'm in car mode. Maybe my wife is home.
I can hear you now.
No? Okay. Oh, good. Okay, there we go. Can you hear me? What was I talking about?
Freedom Soft. I never heard of
Freedom Soft. Yeah. For the most part, Freedom Soft seems like the one-stop shop for most of it. It had a it had most of the stuff. They had mass texting. Of course, you had to like click on each text to send it, which is how they got around all those laws about uh, texting too many people. And the same with calling. You would set up your list of people you wanted to call, and you just click call them.
Why is that
And so,
such a restriction now? It's like it scares me because if I call the wrong person and they say they're going to threaten to sue me because of this call thing,
yeah.
it's like what else? What else do you do
Well,
if that comes up?
so Freedom Soft had a very nice way of doing this, and you would redline a number. That phone number would be red. So anytime it got called or texted on a list, it wouldn't go through. It would stop you from texting or calling that person. So you wouldn't have to think about it ever again. Like, second somebody says like F you, I'm done with you, I'm suing you, you would just redline the number that said that, and then you'd never have to deal with it again.
Oh, that's pretty dope. I like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, it was so nice. And I had that problem in Bash Driven because I would be calling and texting people and they'd be like, I told you to stop calling me. And I was like, wait, what? Like,
Right.
that's because I mean, it is scary. It's $500 fine with each one.
Oh,
And you don't want to bug people, but I think they're crunching down on it.
okay. And I
In
just want
Georgia,
to
I
be
think they
more
passed
aware
a
of that.
law, $500 fine per time that you reach out to them. And then there's a website where you can go do not call registry, I think, and you submit your number. And if your number's on there, then you get in real trouble if you call it.
What?
And those are
Oh,
usually the people that get
shoot.
mad. Yeah.
So should I check that to be sure?
Well, yeah, I would see. So like when you get the list, you'd have to take that whole list there. I
Uh-huh.
mean, you can, it's an extra step, but what I would do is I just wait until somebody says, forget me, and I
Okay.
just delete their info.
Okay.
And then just, sorry, good day, I'll see you.
Okay. That's so scary though. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't ever want that problem. So for me, Mike, I have a family as well. And I feel like some of my time, of course, is, it's a given that you have to take care of family as well as trying to, be a wholesaler or whatnot. But do you have a couple of tips on how to manage that? Because I feel like I'm just pulling from every angle and I'm not getting the results that I'm expecting because I'm, calling leads and then it's like, it's not a 24/7 thing.
Yeah. So I just formed an LLC now, formed a company, House Help or Atlanta House Help. And each of us has like one job to do. Like mine is finding the buyers, getting the funding, and making sure that the properties close. Closing coordinator. There's one person that makes the calls, makes the texts. There's another person that pulls the leads, gets the data, like makes sure that it's good, and then uploads it to all the places. And then there's a person that goes out to the property. But right now, and what a lot of wholesalers continue to do, is what they'll do is when they get their first, when they get started, they'll pull the leads, and you should, and then you'll call the leads, market to the leads, you'll get one on the hook. They want to sell, you'll meet them, the price will be right, it'll be perfect, in a good area, you'll have a bunch of buyers there, you'll get it under contract, and then you go to sell that contract, and you're jumping from each of these positions. You are pulling the data, you are marketing to the data, you are then meeting the seller at the house to get it under contract, and then you are closing and selling that deal that you just got. and they'll just keep doing that whole process.
Okay.
The first time you're going to do all of it, but just do it in phases and make sure that you're not going back and forth. Because if
Okay.
you're pulling data, then you're calling and then you're thinking, oh, let me pull this other list. Like, try not to do that. You know, once you get somebody that you've called, that you meet them at the property, it seems like a good deal. It's got a great ARV. Their number is close to your number, and it's a little bit below what the other cash buyers have bought for. Get that under contract, go there, meet them, develop rapport, get it under contract. And then your singular focus is to then sell that deal, meet those buyers, take it to meetups, investment, real estate investment associations like REIAs, local
Yeah.
to where you're at, and do each of those jobs. And then don't go all over the place. So if you meet a lady and you can't get it under contract, go back to making the calls and the texts, and then wait for that next type person to come, meet them at the property, and then once you meet them at the property, get it under contract, and then take it to the closing. And then once you close on that deal, then what I would do is I would start looking to build that team. It is possible to build that team ahead of time if you know the right people. So I had known these people before. And I said, hey, you know, I'm pulling you in for this reason. You know, we all jumped on a Zoom call and we said, hey, this is what I'm thinking. They were like, okay, sounds good. You know, we called it not Mike's House Help, because people kept asking for Mike. So we made it Atlanta's House Help.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just got to talk to the owner.
Right.
So that's what I would do.
Okay.
And I looked at what their strengths were. Like, there was one guy that would I mean, he's killer at like finding the leads and skip tracing people. There was another guy that I mean, he's got a baby face, he's young, he's the best looking guy out of us, all of us. So I was like, this is the guy that we want going to the property and meeting the seller, you know. And then you know, I'm doing the funding here, I'm doing you know, selling to buyers. So I took that position because I didn't think anybody else was good at that. But I feel like I could have really taken any position. And then the one lady I put on marketing was used to work for the she would call people and ask them about their car's extended warranty. And so that's the person who's good with rejection and no's, and is good at turning people around and actually getting people to sign up and extend their car's warranty, that you want making the calls. So keep on the lookout for people like that when you go to meetups and stuff and you try to sell the deal eventually when you get one. And then start thinking about this other person that you live near, the realtor, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
so
in San Francisco and I'm in Alameda.
Yeah, start thinking about what her strengths are.
Okay.
And you want whatever your strength is, find out what that is and find out where you excel at in those four, I guess, quadrants of doing the deal, and see if she falls into a different one. And then all you'll have to do from there is just fill in those other ones. But I would wait until after you do that first deal. And if you can't find anybody like that, you could always hire. So you and this other lady could be 50-50 owner of the wholesaling company. And then you could just hire some people out that are good at cold calling. You could then hire somebody to pull the data. That could be like a virtual assistant job. And then you and her could take the meeting people at the property and then closing and take those last two quadrants. And so that's better. What we did was we split it 4 ways. So when we do a deal, each of us gets 25%. So we're all four owners of it. So we're all dedicated, and we're driven to do the deals and get the
Nice.
marketing and go the extra mile. But when you hire in, they're not really gonna have that same kind of drive. But if you can't find somebody to fill that spot that's going to be an owner,
Yeah.
then just hire out. Just get somebody in there, who's calling, and pay them well. You don't want to pay them less, and then of course, whenever a deal comes through, $100, $200 bonus
Right.
for the incentive. And yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay.
Yeah, but the first time you're gonna have to do all of those yourself.
Okay. Well, I feel like I'm all that anyway. So it wouldn't be new to me or anything. When you talk about building, your team, like who does all that consist of? Because like I was saying, I know I have a realtor, so that would be one, right?
No, actually, so yeah, I see that a lot. A lot of coaches say like, oh, you need a realtor on your team, you need this person, a closing attorney. So to do a deal, you need a closing attorney or a title company. I don't here it's a closing attorney, but the etiquette is
ours is
different.
title
Company, okay. So you'll need a title company that's okay with double closings and pass through funding, all that crazy kind of deal structure. You want somebody with a realtor. Nobody on my team has a realtor's license.
Okay.
I do have access to a realtor who's also a funding.
Nice.
So sometimes I'll send him a deal, and what I'm really doing is I'm shopping him the deal, but he doesn't know it. And then he'll tell me like, the ARV and do all the work.
Right.
And then I'll get him to fund it. And he gives me really good rates on that. So if you get a person like that, that's perfect. And it's sort of hard to do this because at first, if you haven't done a deal yet, the realtor, are you going to pay the realtor to work for you?
We're doing 50-50 because we're both doing equal amount of work, It's not one more than the other. So we're just pretty much sharing in everything until we get, like you said, a deal and keep going forward, so it's just us. And my husband's been helping a bit too now that since COVID, he hasn't been working. And so now he just landed on something again because he's in IT. And so now his help with us is limited because he's 9 to 5 again. So it's just she and I mostly now.
Yeah. It's hard to, man, I envy people where they get their spouse in on it.
Right.
My wife does not like real estate. Like, it's so boring to her. Man.
I wish I could just hang with her then. But I'm trying to do something different because I'm a 9 to 5 person too. But I'm on disability now because I ended up with a blood clot in my leg. So that's why, I'm like, I wanted to do something else while I've been off, so this was what my choice was. I felt like I really wanted to get involved with wholesaling and the whole real estate thing, so that's where I'm at.
Do you have a room that's like a dedicated office in your house?
Yes, I have a area, but now that my husband's back working, he's utilizing that area.
Oh, okay.
So that's like 9 to 5, as I was saying, so maybe after hours I, have access to, be in that space. But right now I'm utilizing my bedroom because it's quiet, it's peaceful. I can focus in here, while he's out there working because he's talking to people all day. And I'm like, So I can just come back here in my room and I can have my peace and then, work on leads and stuff like that.
So there's a book, and I think it's called Good Work. Let me see if I can find Audible. Yeah. So I would do your 9 to 5 in your bedroom, and try to treat it like it's a job. Like you have to clock in at 9 to 5,
Okay.
or just whenever your husband does.
Okay.
And take the lunch. If not, I was gonna say, it seems like you might do a lot in the car, so just make that your office.
I do that too sometimes.
Mm.
I'm always in my car too when I really want it quiet because we have children too. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I do go to the car and I need that peace. So
yeah.
Do you JV any deals with your students at all?
Yeah. So the students get whatever deals they have. It's all of them. Some coaches will force the JV on all deals. I don't like doing that. But yeah, I had one guy that wanted a JV. I jumped in, found the buyer, did all of that. And the same etiquette with, JVing with another wholesaler. If I find the buyer, then, I'm going to get half the deal. If not, then, it's still all you. But I'll jump in and help you out, however.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely always looking to
because there is a lot of stuff here.
Something.
It's a lot of stuff here, but I would, if I could get in on your mentorship program, that would be great because I just don't want to make a wrong move. You know what I mean? And be sued, like, especially for my first couple of times, I would like to be guided in any way. So then I'll know what to expect, know what to do, how to walk through everything and not be afraid. But that's the reason why I was asking, because like I said, I don't mind hard work. I've been a hard worker all of my life, you know what I'm saying, since teenager. So I don't know anything else, but it's just getting more acquainted with this wholesaling stuff that is just, bothersome to me, that I really want to get it. You know what I mean? So that's why I was speaking of your mentorship program.
Yeah. Definitely.
There's so much stuff out here to get, you know what I mean? But like, it's just knowing if it's the right one or not. That's kind of like, a thing with me if I'm iffy a little bit about it, and then if I could say, Mike, can I send you this deal? Can you overlook it and tell me if this is right, or if I got a deal, or what, should I go after it or not? You know what I mean? I need someone to oversee to tell me that I'm going about this the right way. Because like I said, the young lady I'm working with, we're both new to wholesaling. So it's like the blind leading the blind, I guess. We're both still learning stuff.
But at least y'all are like trying and, looking to get into wholesaling. There's a lot of people that are just blind leading the blind, not even trying to wholesale and get off on their own.
Right. I love it actually, but it's tough though. But I just say this to say that if I had more of a guidance to make it much easier, so I know what the heck I'm doing, with a hands-on person that really knows what they're doing. So that's why I was asking about your mentorship program.
Yeah, definitely. There's not a person that's gotten anywhere without a mentor. And it's it was such a load off for me, just because my biggest fear was like, if I get this contract, I'm gonna have to buy this house. Like, I was like, dude, I'm pushing carts at Walmart. Like, there's no way I can buy this house. And then the guy was just like, no, like right there, it says you can just pull out for any reason. And I was just like, any reason. I was like, oh, I don't like your hair. I don't like the carpet. I'm out. Bye. Sorry, no deal.
Right.
And so it was just this load off my shoulders,
right,
where I just had way more confidence going there to meet the seller. And I see these people on YouTube and they're like, just do it, just go and do it. And they've got like Red Bull in their veins. And they're like, just go, do it,
Right.
do it, do it. I'm like,
Right.
yeah, but what if you do it and they've got a lawyer involved? And
See?
I
Yeah.
mean,
I want some
yeah,
of that
it's scary.
adrenaline too, but I'm still like pedaling, you know what I'm saying? I'm not in full stride yet. So I'm like, I won't do that.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. So I found this book. It's called Deep Work.
Deep?
Deep Work.
Okay.
And it's by, it's downloading. All right. So it pushes it to the top of my list. It's by Cal Newport, and it's on Audible.
Okay. Is it with
Because
a K or a C?
C.
Okay.
C. And so it's almost like I would explain it like sleep. When you fall asleep, you're not like recharging sleep. I think it takes like an hour to get to REM sleep,
Yeah.
where you're actually like recharging. And so he talks about how to get into that deep work quicker.
Yeah.
And so I think that would help you out a lot. You'd be in
Okay.
your bedroom, and you would be set to go, and you would just quickly, figure out how to get yourself to get into the zone, and just start calling people.
Okay.
Like one is, back in the day they had the hang up button, and you would put it back, and they had a
Yeah.
cord. I don't
Yeah.
know if you're old enough, but
I
they had a
am.
cord to the phone, and you would have to hang it up. And so the etiquette was that people would sit there and cold call. They'd pick it up, hang up, dial the next number. And then one time this guy was just like, I'm not putting it down. I'm just hitting that button.
Oh my gosh.
And they were like, where are your numbers coming from? So it's that kind of thinking in the book. And I mean, you'll be in the zone on how to do so much work and stuff.
Okay, I'll
Some of the
check
stuff is
that
a little
out.
bit much. Like one is like having an entirely black room and just a table and a notebook, and like
Ooh.
all you do is just work on your script or whatever you're doing. And I'm like, that's too much.
Right.
But the other stuff is really good.
I might have to try that, because sometimes I lose focus. You know what I mean? I just like stare away, and I'm like, well, I'm supposed to be doing this.
You know what? A buddy of mine, now that I think about it, was 9 to 5, and he worked in a cubicle. And he started wholesaling, and he was like, man, I'm struggling. And he got a cubicle for his office in his house, and he set the little cubicle up.
I remember you saying that, because he works best in the cubicle. Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know if it would cost some money, but I'm sure they have a co-working space that you could do. And so when you go there, you would be really like in the zone to do work.
Yeah.
Because I've never really been in that, because cart pushing to Walmart to wholesaling. So I've never been in that position of going somewhere and working at a desk.
Right. I might have to do that at the library, because they have little cubicles you can reserve.
Yeah, the library.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, saving
I think
money.
I may do that. Yep, exactly. Free.
Co-working
you just
space.
gotta sign up for it. That's all. I think I'll try that, because I need that. The mental part of my life.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, definitely. That's good.
Yeah. What else I can think of? So just starting out, I don't need to really worry about putting a team together just yet. Just she and I will cover all bases until we at least land on 1 or 2 deals. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would talk with her about, like, when you get a property, I would send it to her, and somebody says, hey, I want to sell, or we're thinking about selling it, to send it to her and have her come up with an ARV and all of that, and then have her be that person that analyzes the property.
Okay.
Since she has access to the MLS, And
Right,
so have
exactly.
her do that. And then when she gets back to you with that number, you can then, use that to come up with the offer to the seller. And
Okay.
I would say it's probably like 80. It used to be 70% of the ARV
Yeah.
minus repairs, minus your fee. I would say now it's 80, just
Yeah, I've
because of
been hearing
much stuff
everybody's
is.
going for 80.
Oh man, yeah. Open Door is buying everything at like ridiculous prices. They'll buy a
Mhm.
house and then it will up the value of all the other houses.
Right.
And then they'll buy another house at that new value plus some extra. I mean, they just keep climbing, and of course they up rents too. But yeah,
Oh, amazing.
mhm.
So
Yes,
then,
80%.
you know what? Another thing that I find like tough to wrap around my mind is when you say we're talking 80%, but also in connect with that, it's like if they have enough equity in the house, which would make it a good deal. Is that so?
Oh, so I look at it differently.
Okay.
Um, I look at so whatever they want to sell it. If there's a mortgage, if there's not a mortgage, and then I come up with the ARV, and then I determine what my wholesale offer would be.
Okay.
And that's that cash price that you just pay them. If the mortgage is more than that amount,
Mm-hmm.
or if they don't want cash, you would then go the route of, what's the mortgage? How much is on the total for the mortgage? What are the monthly payments? Are there back payments? And then I would
Okay.
go the route of lease options and sandwich lease options instead
Mm-hmm.
of wholesaling. So that's
Okay.
also something I could cover later. Uh, and I'm by no means the expert on that. I think we've got another lady that is handling that sub or super group, because they're not sub,
Okay.
they're
Okay.
super groups.
Super good. Cool.
But yeah, it's all on what the seller wants and what their deal is like. So if they have a
Okay.
mortgage, you look at it at all angles. Well, we could offer you cash here, but it would be 30,000. I think that's less than what the mortgage is. We could take over the mortgage, pay you 200 a month. We'll pay the mortgage, and then we will take over the property. And then of
Okay.
course you do a little bit of repairs, move a tenant in, and
Right.
do all of that fancy stuff.
Got it.
Uh, so that's how I would look at that kind of thing.
Okay. That's quite different. So how do I become a team member of your mentorship?
Oh, shoot me a text.
Okay.
Is it still in here? All right, I'll put it on there. So just
This
shoot
was
me a
pretty dope
text.
to have Mike to all by myself. That's pretty cool. I never had that happen before.
There we go. All right. You see it in there?
Uh-huh.
My phone number in the chat.
Got it.
All
So
right.
you're
So yeah,
saying send you
send me a text, or you can call me after we get off here, and we
okay.
can talk about it.
Okay. I appreciate that. And this was so cool. Thank you. And when
Mhm.
you said that it was just you and I got nervous. I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna corner me and then I gotta answer all these questions.
Well,
But
so I
that's
was wondering.
okay.
I was like, is anybody going to get on? And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I've got slides,
Right.
but if I do slides on here,
But this
it's a
worked out
smaller
perfect for
screen, and then
me.
you can't see my face.
Right.
Um,
But this worked
and
out just
yeah.
perfect for me. It was meant to happen this way.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm
It happened
cool with
for
it.
a reason.
Yes, exactly. And so I'm thankful, and I'm thankful for your information. This was pretty
Yeah.
cool. Pretty cool. And then when does a JV person do you have, I mean not JV, a virtual assistant? That's later on, like after so
Yeah.
many deals, correct?
Yeah. I would do at least a deal before I get a virtual assistant.
Okay.
And that was, I think, a couple episodes ago. I think those are still up.
Okay, I'm gonna
But
go back in because like I was saying, I've been scattered between family and trying to do this stuff. And it's like, oh, I want to listen to, all the replays. Oh, I want to try to, read this about someone. It's just so much. It's really a lot. You know what I mean? And I'm
yeah,
trying to tackle everything on my own, for my own personal self. But like I said, it's not easy because, having a family and a husband and, trying to do dinner, do this, do that, get the shopping done, get the groceries. It's a lot. And then when I'm trying to customize on my schedule, like, okay, I need 2 hours for this, 2 hours for that. Then I ended up with a leak in my daughter's closet, and I had to stop for that for a contractor to come here. And it's like, it's just pulling me, things are just pulling me left and right. You never know what's going to come up or how things is going to happen in your day. So that's what my day was today. And I was like, I closed my door. I said, this is it. I'm going for my Zoom and I don't want to be bothered. So that's where I'm at right now with you.
yeah. You're
It's
putting
tough.
out fires.
Whew.
It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be, off and on like that. But once you get the team going and you've got other people to support you,
Yeah,
it's gonna be totally different.
I can't wait for that moment.
Yeah.
And thank you, Mike, for your time. I really appreciate this.
Oh yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And I will I'll send you a text.
Okay. All right.
And what information am I seeing in there just to be a part of your mentorship group, and you'll send me feedback or information on how to get
yes,
into
I
your
do
mentorship?
weekly calls, Facebook, the group.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's constant like communication. I like the Facebook group just because everybody has a Facebook, and uh, we do the calls in uh, a Facebook Messenger,
Okay.
and so it's just easier that way.
Okay.
And then what was I gonna do?
Is that
Oh,
separate from the REI Facebook thing? Because
yeah,
you're
yeah,
separate.
that's something that
Okay.
I do, and that's just with me.
Okay, cool.
So like Stacy does the storage nerds.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've seen that, but yeah, I
Yes,
think
I
she has
have.
a Facebook group for that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
cool with
and
that. I'm
that's
not ready for that. I'm far away. She was like, just keep keep, listening. And I was like, okay.
mm, yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
extreme right there for me. I can't even handle that.
So I think the 31st is like, that's New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna cancel that one, and then
Okay.
I think our next one will be on the 7th
Of January.
of January 2022.
Okay.
Wow, man.
I know this year's gone by. And I was sick for half of it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man.
Crazy.
Just
One day I could walk and the next day I couldn't.
yeah, one day at a time, one day at a time. All right,
Oh,
so
for
I'll
sure.
see.
Thank you,
I
Mike,
just
so much for your time.
Oh yeah, thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome, and
All
I'll
right.
send a text.
All
Have a good night.
right. All right, see you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So I'll see y'all back on the 7th if you're watching this later on. The 7th of January 2022, Mike the Wholesaler. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.